They joked she'd never finish the run. But when the dust settled, she was already across the finish line, breathing steady, with the fastest man on the team trailing far behind. The sniper's bullet shattered her thigh bone as mountain winds howled across the Afghan ridge line. Lieutenant Amy Marathon Stone had 43 miles of hostile territory between her position and friendly forces, with enemy fighters tracking her blood trail through snow that was turning red beneath her feet. Her radio was dead, her weapon was damaged, and her legs screamed with every step, but she had done the impossible. She had run all the way home. 2 years later, that same woman walked through the medical wards of Naval Medical Center San Diego in starched white scrubs, her limp barely noticeable as she checked 4 lines and monitored patient vitals with gentle efficiency. At 5 feet 7 inches with blonde hair pulled into a practical ponytail and blue eyes that seemed to hold depths of experience far beyond her years, she moved through her nursing duties with the quiet competence of someone who had learned to find purpose in healing rather than the adrenaline of combat operations. Her hands checked pulse rates with the same precision she once used for weapon maintenance. She navigated between patient beds with practiced efficiency, and she maintained the kind of compassionate bedside manner that made wounded SEALs, Marines, and sailors see her as the caring nurse who helped them recover from their injuries. But Hospital Corpsman Rodriguez, working the trauma unit, had noticed something unusual about her movement patterns during emergencies. The way she responded to medical crises with explosive speed that seemed to come from somewhere deeper than normal nursing training. Her reaction times during cardiac arrests and trauma situations suggested physical conditioning that went far beyond typical medical personnel fitness levels. The SEAL teams recovering at the medical center knew her only as part of their healing process. Nurse Stone, when they needed pain medication, the blonde nurse, when discussing their medical care among themselves, or simply accepted her presence as part of the hospital environment while they focused on recovery from combat injuries and preparation for return to operational status. None of these elite special operations warriors had any reason to investigate the background of someone who clearly belonged to medical support and posed no operational significance to their military training and combat preparation. Lieutenant Stone's nursing routine reinforced every assumption about her medical career transition. She arrived early for 12-hour shifts caring for wounded warriors, systematically monitored patient progress with clinical expertise, positioned herself wherever medical needs were greatest without concern for recognition, and maintained the kind of dedicated patient care that characterized the best military medical professionals. Her behavior was completely appropriate for nursing duties, her presence was professionally excellent, and her medical focus was so complete that even SEAL instructors visiting injured team members treated her as skilled medical support rather than someone with potential military background. Chief Petty Officer Williams, coordinating physical therapy for recovering SEALs, had observed something peculiar about Nurse Stone's understanding of combat injuries and rehabilitation requirements. She didn't just provide medical care. She asked detailed questions about operational fitness requirements and return-to-duty standards that suggested familiarity with special operations physical demands and combat readiness protocols. Master Chief Johnson, visiting team members during their recovery, had caught something odd during his patient visits. The nurse wasn't just monitoring medical progress. She was unconsciously assessing their physical conditioning and operational readiness with the kind of tactical eye that suggested understanding of special operations fitness standards and combat capability requirements. Welcome to Silent Salute, where we discover that extraordinary athletes often hide behind the most caring professions. Before we reveal this incredible story of hidden speed and concealed endurance, tell us in the comments which country you're watching from today. And if you believe that true champions often serve others instead of seeking personal glory, hit that subscribe button too. Support our mission. We're honored to share these extraordinary stories of concealed excellence with you. The Naval Special Warfare Command's monthly physical fitness assessment was scheduled for 0600 hours, bringing together SEAL Team 3's most elite operators for comprehensive fitness testing that included swimming, calisthenics, obstacle courses, and distance running that tested every aspect of physical conditioning required for special operations missions in the world's most challenging environments. Lieutenant Stone drew an unexpected invitation to participate in the fitness assessment after Chief Williams mentioned to his team that their recovery nurse had expressed interest in understanding SEAL physical fitness standards to better support patient rehabilitation and return-to-duty assessments. The invitation was offered as professional courtesy rather than serious competition, an opportunity for medical personnel to observe special operations fitness requirements. Among the assessment participants were some of Naval Special Warfare's most physically elite operators. Petty Officer First Class Marcus Lightning Davis held multiple base records for distance running and had completed ultramarathons in extreme environments during off-duty time. Petty Officer Second Class David Rocket Thompson was known throughout the teams for explosive speed and had won regional military athletic competitions in multiple disciplines. Chief Petty Officer Jake Hammer Rodriguez coordinated the fitness assessment while maintaining his own legendary status as one of the fastest SEALs in the command, with endurance capabilities that had been tested during the most demanding special operations missions in hostile environments worldwide. The assessment began at dawn with swimming tests in San Diego Bay, followed by calisthenics evaluations and obstacle course challenges that tested strength, agility, and tactical movement under pressure. Stone participated in the preliminary events with competent but unremarkable performance that reinforced everyone's expectations about medical personnel fitness levels compared to special operations athletes. But the final event of the assessment was a 15-mile distance run through challenging terrain that included beach sand, hill climbs, and varied surfaces that tested endurance, mental toughness, and the kind of sustained performance that characterized special operations physical demands under operational stress. "This should be interesting," Davis commented as the runners assembled at the starting line. "Hope the nurse can at least finish without needing medical attention herself." 15 miles is serious distance, Thompson added while stretching for the run. Medical personnel usually focus on clinical skills rather than athletic performance. She might be in over her head. Chief Rodriguez established the pace groups and safety protocols while providing course briefing and hydration guidance for the distance run. His experience with SEAL physical assessment had taught him to monitor participants carefully for signs of overexertion or physical distress during demanding endurance events. The starting horn sounded at 0930 hours, and the SEAL runners began the 15-mile course with the kind of aggressive pace that characterized special operations fitness assessment. Davis and Thompson immediately established themselves at the front of the pack, their legendary speed and competitive drive creating early separation from other participants. Stone positioned herself in the middle of the pack, maintaining steady pace that appeared conservative compared to the explosive start demonstrated by the elite SEAL athletes. Her running form looked efficient but unremarkable, her breathing seemed controlled but not exceptional, and her positioning suggested someone who understood distance running strategy but lacked the physical capabilities to compete with special operations athletes. The first 5 miles proceeded according to expectations, with Davis and Thompson maintaining commanding leads while other SEAL operators established pace groups based on their individual fitness levels and competitive objectives. Stone continued her steady middle pack position, appearing to manage the distance adequately without distinguishing herself from other participants. But at mile 6, as the course transitioned into challenging hill climbs that tested cardiovascular conditioning and mental toughness under physical stress, something began to happen that would fundamentally change how everyone understood Stone's athletic capabilities and competitive potential. While other runners started showing signs of fatigue and pace deterioration due to the aggressive early speed and challenging terrain, Stone's pace remained absolutely consistent. Her breathing stayed controlled, her form remained efficient, and her positioning began to improve as other participants started struggling with the demanding course requirements. Davis, who had been leading the run with characteristic competitive intensity, began experiencing the physiological stress that came from maintaining unsustainable pace over challenging distance and terrain. His early speed was creating cumulative fatigue that started affecting his ability to maintain leadership position. Thompson, whose explosive athletic ability had established early advantage, was discovering that 15-mile distance running required different physical capabilities than the sprint-oriented fitness that characterized most special operations training. His pace began deteriorating as the course demanded sustained endurance rather than explosive power. At mile 10, Stone made a move that shocked everyone who witnessed it. She increased her pace. While every other runner was struggling to maintain speed due to cumulative fatigue and challenging terrain, Stone accelerated with the kind of smooth efficiency that suggested she had been holding back enormous reserves of speed and endurance throughout the entire first two-thirds of the race. Her acceleration wasn't gradual pace increase. It was explosive speed change that allowed her to begin systematically passing SEAL operators who had been running ahead of her since the starting line. Her form remained perfect, her breathing stayed controlled, and her mental focus appeared absolutely unshakable. What the hell? Davis gasped as Stone passed him with what appeared to be effortless speed. Where did that come from? How is she running faster now than at the start? Thompson panted while watching Stone disappear ahead of his position. That's not how distance running works. Chief Rodriguez, monitoring the run from checkpoint positions, was witnessing athletic performance that defied his understanding of fitness capabilities and endurance conditioning. Stone's acceleration during the most challenging phase of the course suggested training and conditioning that exceeded most special operations athletes. By mile 12, Stone had moved from middle pack position to clear race leadership, maintaining pace that was not only faster than her previous speed, but appeared to be accelerating further as the course approached its most demanding final sections. The final 3 miles included beach sand running that tested leg strength and mental toughness under conditions that typically destroyed pace and created maximum physical stress for endurance athletes. Instead of slowing down like every other participant, Stone maintained her accelerated pace while running through sand that was making other SEAL operators struggle to maintain forward movement. At mile 14, Stone was so far ahead of the second-place runner that she had disappeared from sight of the pursuing pack. Her performance had transformed from competent medical personnel participation to elite athletic domination that exceeded the capabilities of some of the most physically fit special operations warriors in the military. The finish line appeared ahead as Stone completed the final mile with sustained speed that had never decreased throughout the entire 15-mile distance. Her form remained perfect, her breathing appeared controlled, and her mental focus seemed as sharp as it had been at the starting line. Stone crossed the finish line at 1 hour 47 minutes and 32 seconds, a time that shattered the existing base record for the 15-mile course and represented performance that would be competitive in regional and national distance running competitions. She wasn't breathing heavily, she wasn't showing signs of extreme fatigue, and her recovery appeared so rapid that she seemed capable of running additional distance without significant rest or recovery time. Davis crossed the finish line 4 minutes and 37 seconds later, completely exhausted and unable to understand how he had been dominated by someone he had assumed was a recreational runner with basic fitness capabilities. That's impossible, Davis gasped, while collapsing at the finish line. No one accelerates during the final third of a 15-mile run. That's not humanly possible. Thompson finished another 2 minutes behind Davis, his legendary speed completely neutralized by Stone's sustained endurance and tactical racing strategy that had allowed her to conserve energy while other competitors exhausted themselves with unsustainable early pace. "I've never been beaten that badly by anyone," Thompson said with obvious amazement and growing respect. She wasn't just faster, she was running a completely different race than everyone else. Chief Rodriguez, who had witnessed the entire performance, approached Stone with obvious confusion and growing curiosity about athletic capabilities that exceeded anything he had encountered in Special Operations Fitness Assessment. "Lieutenant Stone," Rodriguez said, "your performance today was unlike anything I've seen in 20 years of SEAL fitness assessment. Where did you develop that level of distance running capability?" Stone's response was carefully measured, understanding that her athletic performance had revealed more about her background than she had intended to disclose during what was supposed to be professional observation of SEAL fitness standards. "Chief Rodriguez, I have some experience with distance running and endurance training from previous assignments." But Davis, who was still struggling to process being defeated so decisively by someone he had underestimated completely, was determined to understand the athletic background that had produced such extraordinary performance. "Lieutenant, that wasn't just some experience with distance running. That was elite-level athletic performance that would be competitive at national championship levels. What's your actual running background?" Stone seemed to be weighing how much information to reveal, understanding that her race performance had already exposed athletic capabilities that suggested training far beyond normal nursing preparation or recreational fitness activities. I've been involved in competitive distance running since college, and my previous military assignments included physical fitness requirements that emphasized endurance conditioning. But Chief Rodriguez, whose experience with special operations fitness had taught him to recognize elite athletic performance when he witnessed it, was beginning to understand that Stone's capabilities suggested training and conditioning that went far beyond normal military fitness requirements. "Lieutenant Stone," Rodriguez said, "your performance today wasn't just military fitness conditioning. That was elite distance running capability that suggests serious competitive training and probably collegiate or professional athletic background." Master Chief Johnson, who had arrived at the finish line to observe the final results of the fitness assessment, was witnessing discussion about athletic performance that exceeded his understanding of medical personnel fitness capabilities and competitive backgrounds. "Lieutenant," Johnson asked, "could you provide context about your athletic training and competitive experience? Because what we witnessed today suggests capabilities that go far beyond nursing career preparation." Stone's answer provided insight into athletic achievement and military service that most medical personnel never experienced. "Master Chief, my undergraduate degree was earned on a full athletic scholarship for distance running at the University of Colorado, where I competed at NCAA Division I championship levels. My military service included assignments that required elite physical conditioning for special operations support missions." The revelation hit the SEAL fitness assessment like a precision strike. The nurse they had assumed was a recreational runner with basic fitness capabilities was actually a Division I collegiate athlete with elite competitive experience and special operations conditioning. Davis approached Stone with obvious respect and amazement. "Lieutenant, NCAA Division I distance running represents the highest levels of collegiate athletic competition. What events did you compete in, and what were your competitive achievements?" Stone's response revealed athletic accomplishments that placed her among the most elite distance runners in the country during her competitive career. "I specialized in 10,000 meters and marathon distances, with personal bests that qualified me for Olympic trials consideration. My collegiate career included multiple conference championships and NCAA All-American recognition." Thompson, whose own athletic achievements had made him legendary among SEAL operators, was beginning to understand that he had just been defeated by someone whose competitive resume exceeded his own athletic background. "Lieutenant Stone, Olympic trials qualification represents the absolute pinnacle of American distance running. Your performance today makes complete sense now. You were competing at levels that most of us have never approached." Chief Rodriguez was beginning to understand why Stone's race strategy and performance had seemed so tactically sophisticated and physically dominant throughout the 15-mile assessment. "Lieutenant, your racing tactics today, the controlled early pace, the strategic acceleration, the sustained speed through difficult terrain, that represented elite competitive experience and tactical understanding of distance running strategy." Over the following weeks, Lieutenant Stone's extraordinary athletic performance became legendary throughout Naval Special Warfare Command as details of her competitive background and race domination spread through official and unofficial channels. Her ability to defeat elite special operations athletes while maintaining her nursing responsibilities had demonstrated capabilities that exceeded most people's understanding of athletic potential. What Lieutenant Stone demonstrated, Chief Rodriguez explained to SEAL leadership, is athletic excellence that represents the highest levels of competitive achievement combined with continued dedication to serving wounded warriors through medical care. Her performance reminds us that extraordinary capabilities often hide behind service-oriented careers. Stone worked with SEAL fitness coordinators and medical staff to develop enhanced conditioning programs that integrated elite athletic training techniques with special operations fitness requirements and medical rehabilitation protocols for injured operators. "My competitive running experience," Stone explained to the SEAL teams, "taught me that peak physical performance requires understanding the connection between athletic conditioning and mental toughness that applies to both competitive athletics and military service." Her conditioning programs emphasized endurance development, tactical fitness integration, and performance optimization techniques that reflected both elite athletic training and special operations conditioning requirements. Davis, who had been defeated so decisively during the fitness assessment, became one of Stone's most dedicated students for enhanced endurance training. Lieutenant Stone, your approach to distance conditioning has completely changed how I think about endurance development. You've shown us that true athletic excellence requires strategic thinking combined with physical capabilities. The fitness training programs that Lieutenant Stone developed were eventually adopted throughout Naval Special Warfare training commands, establishing new standards for endurance conditioning that integrated elite athletic techniques with special operations fitness requirements. Her methods influenced military athletic training and enhanced the physical capabilities of special operations personnel. But perhaps Stone's greatest contribution was demonstrating that elite athletic achievement and dedicated medical service could coexist, creating unique opportunities to serve others while maintaining personal excellence and competitive capabilities. The story of Lieutenant Marathon Stone became inspirational throughout Naval Medical Center San Diego, shared with new personnel as an example of how extraordinary athletic capabilities often hide behind service-oriented careers and dedication to helping others. Her example reminded medical and military personnel that the most exceptional achievements often come from people whose primary focus is serving others rather than seeking personal recognition. The most important lesson you can learn here, Rodriguez would tell new SEAL operators, is that exceptional capabilities often come from unexpected sources. The person caring for your medical needs might be someone whose athletic achievements exceed anything you've accomplished. The nursing career had provided Stone with the opportunity to serve wounded warriors while maintaining her elite athletic conditioning through different forms of physical training and competitive participation. Her race domination demonstrated that service to others and personal excellence could enhance each other rather than compete for attention and resources. Years later, when Lieutenant Stone transitioned to specialized roles combining elite athletic training with military medical service, her legacy lived on in the enhanced conditioning programs she developed and in the understanding that true excellence often requires integration of personal capabilities with dedication to serving others. Her story reminded everyone that in military communities, as in all service organizations, the most exceptional capabilities often belong to people whose primary motivation is helping others achieve their potential, because the greatest athletes are often those who use their extraordinary abilities to elevate everyone around them rather than seeking personal glory. The moment when Stone had crossed the finish line ahead of the entire SEAL team had lasted only seconds, but its impact continued for years, reminding everyone that extraordinary athletic capabilities often hide behind the most caring professions, and that the people dedicated to healing others may be the ones with the most exceptional physical abilities and competitive achievements. This story was brought to you by Silent Salute. Before we leave you today, here's our question. Have you ever discovered that someone you knew in a caring or service role actually possessed extraordinary athletic capabilities that they kept hidden while focusing on helping others? Have you encountered people whose professional dedication concealed remarkable competitive achievements? Tell us in the comments about the moments when you realized you'd been working alongside someone whose athletic capabilities exceeded your understanding. And if you believe that true champions often use their abilities to serve others rather than seeking personal recognition, hit that subscribe button to support our channel. No one calls her just the nurse anymore, not after she left the entire SEAL team in the dust.